The call of the north. In the remote village of Frostholm, nestled at the edge of the northern wilderness, winter seemed eternal. The sun barely peaked above the horizon, casting a pale, silver light over the snow-covered landscape. The villagers were hardy folk, accustomed to the biting cold and the long, dark nights. Among them was a young woman named Astrid, whose heart was as restless as the northern wind. Astrid had always been different from the other villagers. While they found comfort in the familiar routines of their secluded life, she yearned for adventure and discovery. Her grandfather, a seasoned explorer who had traveled to the farthest reaches of the north, had filled her childhood with tales of distant lands, hidden treasures, and the mysteries of the Arctic. His stories had ignited a fire in her heart, a burning desire to follow in his footsteps. One frigid evening, as Astrid sat by the fire in her grandfather's old cabin, she came across a weathered map tucked inside one of his journals. The map depicted a route through the uncharted northern territories, leading to a place marked with an enigmatic symbol, a star encircled by ancient runes. Her grandfather's notes spoke of a legendary place known as the Hall of the Northern Lights, a place of wonder and magic that few had ever seen. Determined to find the hall and uncover its secrets, Astrid prepared for the journey. She packed her grandfather's journal, the map, and enough supplies to last through the harshest of conditions. The villagers, though wary of her ambition, offered their support, providing her with warm clothing, food, and their prayers. As dawn broke on the day of her departure, Astrid set out towards the unknown. The village receded into the distance, and she ventured into the vast, frozen wilderness. The landscape was both beautiful and forbidding, with towering icebergs, endless fields of snow, and the occasional silhouette of a reindeer or an Arctic fox. Days turned into weeks as Astrid navigated the treacherous terrain, guided by the map and her unwavering determination. She faced numerous challenges, blizzards that obscured her path, crevasses that threatened to swallow her whole, and the bone-chilling cold that tested her endurance. But through it all, she held on to the memory of her grandfather's stories and the vision of the Hall of the Northern Lights. One evening, as the sky darkened and the temperature dropped, Astrid found herself on the edge of a vast frozen lake. The map indicated that she was close to her destination. Exhausted but resolute, she set up camp by the lake, hoping to catch a glimpse of the legendary lights her grandfather had described. As night fell, the sky above her began to shimmer with hues of green, blue, and purple, the northern lights. Their ethereal glow reflected off the icy surface of the lake, creating a mesmerizing spectacle. Astrid watched in awe, her breath visible in the frigid air. She felt a sense of peace and wonder, as if the lights were welcoming her, guiding her to the hall. With renewed determination, Astrid continued her journey the next day, following the direction of the lights. The landscape grew even more rugged, with towering ice formations and deep snowdrifts. But she pressed on, driven by the promise of discovery. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, she reached a hidden valley surrounded by ice-covered cliffs. At its center stood a majestic structure carved from the ice itself, the Hall of the Northern Lights. The walls of the hall glowed with an inner light, and the air hummed with a magical energy. Astrid approached the hall with a mixture of awe and reverence. As she stepped inside, she was greeted by a breathtaking sight. The interior was adorned with intricate ice sculptures and ancient runes that seemed to pulse with life. At the far end of the hall stood a grand altar, upon which rested a crystalline orb that radiated a brilliant light. Her grandfather's journal had mentioned that the orb was the source of the Northern Lights, a magical artifact that held the power to illuminate the darkest nights and reveal the secrets of the Arctic. Astrid approached the altar, her heart pounding with excitement. She reached out and touched the orb, feeling its warmth and energy flow through her. In that moment, visions filled her mind, visions of the past, present, and future. She saw her grandfather standing in the hall, his eyes filled with the same wonder and determination she now felt. She saw the journey that had led her here, the challenges she had overcome, and the bond she shared with her ancestors. And she saw the future of Frostholm, a future where the knowledge and magic of the hall would bring hope and prosperity to her village. As the visions faded, Astrid felt a deep sense of connection to the land and its history. She understood that her journey was not just about discovery, but about honoring the legacy of those who had come before her and using the knowledge she had gained to benefit her people. With the orb in her hands, Astrid began her journey back to Frostholm. The return trip was arduous, but she felt a newfound strength and purpose guiding her steps. The northern lights accompanied her, their gentle glow lighting her way through the darkness. When she finally returned to the villagers greeted her with a mixture of astonishment and joy. She shared the story of her journey and the secrets of the hall, and together they celebrated the magic and wonder of the north. The orb became a symbol of hope and knowledge, its light illuminating the long, dark winters and guiding the villagers in their daily lives. Astrid's journey inspired others to explore, to seek out the unknown, and to cherish the beauty and mystery of the Arctic. And so, the legend of the Hall of the Northern Lights lived on, a testament to the courage, determination, and curiosity of those who dared to venture into the heart of the North. Astrid, now a revered leader and storyteller, continued to share her experiences, passing on the legacy of discovery and wonder to future generations.